Hello everyone. Now my name is Bhargav Gampala and I'm going to tell about negotiations across culture. Introduction. Negotiations are rarely easy mainly because they tend to consist of two sides trying to beat the other. Negotiation is the basic thing we can observe in human beings. We will be having negotiations with our wife, children, friends and many more. There are strategies to develop the negotiating skills. Strategies. Concentrate on long term relations than the short term contracts. Here, long term relations are more than the short term contracts. As the most of the people in the business field look for long term relations, so it is most effective than the short term contracts. Focus on the interest behind the positions. Here, after having a good relation, then we have to give a position to them so that the negotiations will not be disturbed. Avoid over reliance on central generalizations. If an individual has more knowledge on the culture of his or her international partners, then he will not be interrupted and the business deals will meet the expectation. Be sensitive to timing. Timing may not be everything, but in the international business negotiations, it certainly can make a difference between success and failure. Remain flexible. To be flexible does not mean to be weak. Rather, it means being capable of responding to changing situations. Flexibility means avoiding the all too common man-lady known as hardening of the categories. Prepare carefully. Before going to the international deals, one should be prepared and have a plan how to do the negotiations. Learn to listen, not just speak. Here we learn to listen carefully to other party rather than speaking without thinking. A good listener have great chance of making the negotiation success. Use of interpreters. Here rather than learning the language of other cultures, we can have a interpreter for the negotiations of international deals in other cultures. It will be more beneficial. As I said earlier, negotiation skills differs from person to person. Based on this, there are four dimensions of behavior attributes. They are dominant, influence, steadiness, consistent. Dominant. They are good making decisions. They desire to control their environment and do so by solving problems and meeting challenges. Influence. Like a person who is dominant, influencers are good at telling, but they use a less direct method. They want to convince and motivate you rather than coerce you to do something. Steadiness. Steadiness people like influencers when looking at a new ideas will see the positive aspects unlike the influencers. They do not like to change even if it is positive. Consistentness. Like steadiness, they are introverted and reserved, but like the dominants, they are task and control focused. They are perfectionists. Their approach is indirect, reserved, business-like, and diplomatic. Different negotiating methods. Every culture has different ways of viewing the world and therefore a different way of negotiating. Make sure you do your research before you engage in a negotiation with someone from a different culture. The following tips should serve you well prior to any future cross cultural negotiations. Learn a bit about the culture you are going to be negotiating with so that we don't have any difficulties. Understand their expectations from the negotiation process. Be clear with yourself about the stance and strategy you are going to take. Don't jump to assumptions and conclusions in the negotiation process. If you sense confusion, always clarify and recheck for understand. Speak slower, avoid fancy language, and keep it simple. Use your active listening skills. Explain the decision making process from your side and ask them to clarify theirs. Pay attention to potential general dynamics. Keep it professional no matter how challenging it may get. Conclusion. So, by having knowledge on cross cultures, one can have negotiations in the international business and make it a success. We also learn about interpreters, also known as translators. By having them, also make the negotiation success. These are the references I used, and those are the articles I have used for this presentation. Thank you.